We begin the second half from Los Angeles. The Fort Worth Toros try to win 3 in a row and bring their record to 3-3. They face a 10-point deficit against the hometown Los Angeles Lycans here to start the second half. My name is Michael Trillo. So thankful you're along for the ride here on Monday night on Twitch. Josh Zirkle is alongside me in the booth. Craig Soto is doing stats along with Mike St. Greed and Stephen Hacker.
Now Fort Worth trying to get something going here on the offensive side. Cam Curtis, 13 of 19 so far, including those 2 picks.
Let's see what they dial up to start the second half. Up the middle, there's the fullback. That's Jason Williams. Apologies to Aaron Alexander. Williams up the middle. Read the formation wrong. And it's 2nd down and 1.
And one of Williams' longest gains of the day. Obviously rubbed off the big play in the first quarter, but since then had been relatively quiet. One of his better efforts there.
Here's Johnson again, plenty of room to run to the outside. He's finally chased down after he picks up a first down out to the 37-yard line. And a lot of the game, if you missed the first half, has just been this. It's been both teams chipping away at yards, but unable to put it in the end zone from close range.
And that's part of the strategy, Michael. Each of these teams looking to make a big play. Each team has had a big play. Los Angeles is just a little bigger.
Over the middle, diving catch, and there's another big play. Stephen Hacker starting to heat up in this game. He had a nice couple of catches to end the first half.
And this is a gorgeous ball. Curtis with all kinds of time to throw. A little wobbled there, but puts it right in between Ryan Yosef and the defending quarterback. And Hacker's got to dive for it a little bit, but that's the error you want to make. Throw it long, let your guy catch it or nobody.
Power high, here's Jason Williams, and it's get blown up in the backfield. 3 blockers in front of him, and nobody could stop Moore Rivers, the former #1 overall pick of the St. Louis Gladiators.
Rivers 6'5", 295. A lot of agility for such a large human.
2 seasons with St. Louis, now 3 with Los Angeles, and another run to Williams goes nowhere. This time a counter run to the left-hand side as Danny Stinson makes a tackle.
Yeah, it's Stinson coming all the way over from that linebacker spot. Basically ran the length of the offensive line to chase down Jason Williams. And this front 7 for Los Angeles, or front 5 now, if you will, in the nickel look, doing some work.
Curtis, time to throw against the 4-man rush, gets the pass out there and expertly defended. He was looking for Mike Caker again, was Cameron Curtis. Been looking his way a lot tonight.
And that time LA actually had 6 defensive backs out there, excuse me, Michael. And Caker can win some of those matchups when you're getting backup on backup action going. Well, that time it was not to be.
Einhorn on to punt. Pinned Los Angeles inside the 5 last time. Going to be caught fair catch at the 13-yard line this time. So the Lycans with the 10-point lead looking to extend it here in the third quarter.
And Michael is... Go ahead.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, I was just going to say, is it just me or are we paying more attention to the punts in these games because of all the defensive efforts and also just some of the hidden yards come into play here with these offenses having to start long drives in the shadows of their own goalposts?
Well, it's been a field position battle all game long. Both teams have had some extended drives, but since they've started so deep, it's a nice pass over the middle, is caught just past the 30. Davius Reed comes up with another catch. Because both teams have started so deep in their own zones, we've had long drives, but nobody can parlay it into points because both defenses are playing so well on their side of the field. Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official jersey apparel provider, of the Simulation Football League, and mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Here's a pitch to the far side. Gonna pick up 6 yards. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6, 97 Sports Promotions, and the SFL.
Do they have that Blood Moon jersey in stock for Los Angeles?
I don't think so, but they really should. It's a great look. Up the middle for Robert Johnson. He's going to be a yard short of the first down. Brings up 3rd and a yard.
And you just give it to Robert Johnson here on 3rd and 1. I mean, there's no question about this, right? You just go right up the middle. The LA line has been dominating this entire game. Just give your big boy a chance to go get it.
7.4 yards per carry for Johnson in the ball game. He needs 1. They're going to throw it, and Richardson finds the receiver open underneath. That's Medarius Barrett. Oh, no, excuse me. That's Jack Flash who made the catch. Tight end getting involved. His 2nd catch of the game. First down, Los Angeles.
You know, we haven't seen a lot of Jack Flash so far tonight. We really haven't seen a lot of him so far this season. Only 13 catches coming into the week. He needed 6 yards for 1,500 yards all time, and he's got it. Congratulations.
Johnson looking to bounce it outside, and there's just a wall of yellow there. J.L. Browning, haven't mentioned him a lot today, was there to make that tackle along with Delaney Nash. Delaney Nash gets into the backfield more than any other safety in this league, in my opinion. He's there all the time.
I think there are a lot of guys that do that very well, but yes, Delaney Nash is definitely right up there. Great to see them get penetration on 1st down.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Here's the corner route, and it's caught and turning upfield for the first down is Davius Reed. So often you see receivers in that pattern just take it and get out of bounds for 5 or 6 yards. Excellent presence of mind by Reed to turn it up for the first down.
Yeah, that's right. You don't see a lot of guys do that, but Davius Reed has a lot of room, a nice pivot, and does get upfield. And Davius Reed was looking at a milestone coming into this game. Needed 51 yards for 3,000 all time. He just passed the century mark by our count for that. So congratulations to Davius Reed for hitting 3,000 career receiving yards.
107 yards on the day. He has been the main weapon for Sully Richardson tonight. That's 172 yards for Richardson. Short over the middle, that's a dangerous throw, and it eventually comes off the foot of J.L. Browning, an incomplete 2nd down.
Yes, Fort Worth defense starting to tighten up a little bit. They see the clock continuing to run. We'll actually stop now. Right at the halfway point of the 3rd quarter, 5.5 to play. They know they're running out of time. And any other score by Los Angeles could be drastic in their attempts to come back.
Another short pass past a diving defender and a first down dive. How about that from LZ Pryor? Both tight ends now have first down receptions with their to drive on the line, as it were.
Yeah, Los Angeles utilizing everybody in this offense. And we've seen them go with 1 tight end, 2 tight ends. You got Tommy Rahman back in the backfield now. A lot of different looks from this Los Angeles offense.
Floated to Johnson. Johnson barely breaks a tackle, but J.L. Browning does just enough. And that was Tommy Rahman, excuse me, who makes the catch. He gets into formation, and he has a reception. I did a little bit of quick math during this drive and found out that 62% of Sully Richardson's passing yards today are via Davius Reed.
That is a pretty significant amount.
Hand off to Robert Johnson following his blockers close to a first down. Adam Leach was in on the stop, as well as Joey Schwint.
You see Los Angeles, Michael, they are just content to take the 3-4 yards as they come, stay on schedule, get into 3rd and short, not a big deal. We think we're going to get it. Look at Fort Worth lined up saying, no, you're not going to get it this time.
This is just going to be unstoppable force meets immovable object in the trenches. I am so looking forward to it. Handoff, Johnson, and he's got the hole, and he's got a first down inside the red zone to the 15-yard line. That's just a battle of wills, and the offensive line won.
There's a battle of wills and a battle of schemes, too. Tommy Rahman staying in the game. He got up to the line of scrimmage early and was able to take out a potential defender, clearing the way for Robert Johnson. He didn't need a lot of yardage, but he got what he needed for a first down.
These teams combined, again, 0 for 3 on touchdowns in the red zone, 3 field goals. Let's see if Los Angeles can buck the trend. 7-step drop for Richardson to the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Likens. It was that easy for Davius Reed.
Davius Reed has absolutely come alive here in the second half. Gorgeous throw by Richardson right on the money. Reed does not have a lot of room to make that catch. If he takes an extra step, he's out of bounds. If he takes 2 extra steps, he's crashing into the goalpost. But he manages to catch that ball and come down. And now Los Angeles, 16 points. They're an extra point away from a 3-score lead.
Last week against Los Angeles, it was Chris Lee who stepped up to the tune of 149 yards. This week, it's Davius Reed who is stepping up to the tune so far of 122 yards and a touchdown. The Lycans extend the lead. It is 20-3.
And this could be an interesting internal rivalry between Davius Reed and Chris Lee, a friendly rivalry, obviously. Yeah, but there's only one football to go around, and Sully Richardson was pretty much dead set on Davius Reed as his favorite target at the start of the season, but Chris Lee has come on so strong, and now Davius Reed saying, hey, what about me? Coming on strong again in his own right. They could just do this back and forth all season long.
Davius Reed, 122 receiving yards. Next highest is actually the tight end LZ Pryor with 25.
And LZ Pryor did not have any catches last week. So a lot of ebb and flow in this Lycans passing offense.
And that's what you want, right? If you have that deep of a roster, and it doesn't matter if somebody's having an off night, there's always someone right there to pick up the pieces.
And I think that's the way it should be when you have that many star players.
Speaking of picking up the pieces, it's time for Fort Worth to hit that go button, and that's not how you do it as the ball gets smacked out of the hands of the receiver. That'd be Jamal Martin.
And this is a tough catch for even a big money receiver to make, let alone a backup. Martin just absolutely gets laid out here by his quarterback. And then boom, right there by number 93, Danny Stinson. Linebackers are just licking their chops when they see wide receivers coming over the middle like that. And that is why.
Danny Stinson's had a fantastic game. 5 tackles, 2 passes defended as a linebacker. Offset I-2 receiver, strong side to the right. It's going to be a strong side run. Look out. Here goes Jason Williams. He picks up a first up to the 39-yard line.
And Williams not touched until he was finally taken down. And then he actually outran his blocker. You'll see it here on the right side. And that's number 71, Cotton Hill, the right of your screen. If he just waits for Cotton Hill to make that block, he's going to double or maybe even triple the yardage that he got on that run.
Power formation for Fort Worth. Last time they ran this, Los Angeles had an excellent job of defending it, and they do again. But once again, it seems to me that Jason Williams had acres of space to the outside, but he tries to go right up the gut and only gets 3.
And Ryan Yosef right there. And Ryan Yosef got a shot in on him, too. And that's the difference in this game that I see, is that when Robert Johnson is getting tackled, he's being dragged down. When Jason Williams is getting tackled, he's getting blown up at the point of attack.
On 2nd and 7, that's a broken tackle for Jason Williams, and he gets a first down across midfield.
And that's great news for Fort Worth. Fresh set of downs. They're in plus territory. Williams right now sitting at 18 carries. But at some point, they're going to have to start putting the ball in the air. They're down by 3 scores, and they've got a little more than a quarter left to get it back.
Now under 2 minutes to go in the third. Quick slant, and that was too far in front of Cade Stevens, whose diving attempt comes up short. 2nd down and 10.
And that's the second ball from Cameron Curtis on this drive where he's led the receiver just a little too much over the middle. And Cade Stevens, very capable. Still looking for his first catch of the game. Kind of almost unfair to ask him to get it in that spot.
And I think that Curtis may be just getting in his own head a little bit, trying to pick up all the yards at once and just putting a little bit too much on these passes over the middle. 2nd and 10, Jason Williams nowhere near the amount of space he needs to work. Credit to the Bulldogs up front for the Los Angeles Lycans, and Buddy Blaze cleans up. It's 3rd and 9.
And we talked about the game plan that Fort Worth had in this. Right now, Stephen Hacker sitting on 6 catches, Cade Stevens no catches, and Garrett and Percoco just 1 each.
What does Curtis do here on 3rd and 9? He's got pressure in his face. The pass is tipped and incomplete. He was looking for Stephen Hacker right down the middle of the field, and Michelle Colston said no. 4th down, and here comes Einhorn again.
And once again, Rochelle Colston ruining the party for Fort Worth. 4 tackles and assists, pass deflected, the interception obviously in the first half. She has been everywhere for Los Angeles tonight.
This will be the furthest back Einhorn has had to punt, standing at his own 35-yard line. The last 2 were at around midfield. That's still a decent punt, fielded about the 15-yard line, and Los Angeles will start at the 18. But Fort Worth needs a quick stop and to get the ball back. It's a 3-score game with 1:17 to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, and what Los Angeles has been doing so far is basically the perfect 4-minute offense that you would run in this situation. Give the ball to Robert Johnson. Short passes on the sidelines. Take the occasional shot over the middle. Sully Richardson is ready for this moment.
Richardson going to drop back and throw short over the middle. And the clock runs down under 1 minute to go. Jack Flash made the catch. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and consistently refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Handoff off the right-hand side. Robert Johnson does very well, stretching that to the outside for a couple of yards. 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, once again, another great block for Tommy Rahman. That had a chance to be a 1 or 2 yard run. Rahman's block allowed Johnson to turn upfield and make that a 6-yard run.
Johnson out of the power eye, straight up the gut, not going anywhere. How about E.K. Vincent running him down on 3rd down and forces a 3 and out, and that's what Fort Worth needed defensively going into the 4th quarter.
David Harrell in there too, getting great penetration. Harrell did in that stop. Fort Worth not out of this yet, Michael.
4's up in the chat at twitch.tv/SimulationFL. We go to the 4th. Los Angeles 20, Fort Worth 3. It's time for the 4th quarter between the Los Angeles Lycans of the Fort Worth Toros. It's been a defensive battle, and the silence of the defensive struggle only broken by a fantastic Robert Johnson run and a Sully Richardson touchdown pass. on either side of the halftime interval. It's a long mountain for Fort Worth to climb, but they've got the offense to do it, and they've got the ball back here at the start of the final frame. I'm Michael Turillo. Josh Zirkle is alongside me, Greg Soto, Mike St. Green, Cameron Irvine running the board and putting in all the numbers. Stephen Hacker on stats as well. Glad you are here on a Monday night. First Monday night SFL game in quite a while after we've moved to the only weekend schedule a couple of seasons ago. Cameron Curtis, time to deal, does deal, and it's knocked away. Excellent job by Thomasino Raman to knock that one down. It's second down.
Yeah, and that's what Curtis needs to do, though. Go for his big money wide receivers. We're still looking at Cade Stevens sitting on a goose egg. No catches for him and only 2 targets. Stephen Hacker leading all receivers with 6 catches. Garrett Jr. and Lord Percoco just 1 each.
In the Fort Worth win over Charleston last week, Stephen only had 3 receptions for 16 yards. This one floated out to the far side. That's Aaron Alexander on the catch that time. Sets up 3rd and 7.
And Alexander, the rookie, but that's a veteran move getting out of bounds, stopping the clock. Fort Worth is going to need every minute of this 10:43 to get 3 scores and get back into this game.
Five wide on 3rd and 7. Curtis is going to air it out, and it's going to be expertly defended by Thomas Rahman Jr. 4th down and 7.
And Los Angeles had 8 in coverage, which means, Michael, they were only rushing 3, and that rush very nearly got home. Cameron Curtis had to let go of that ball a little sooner than he wanted. He overthrew his receiver, and that is tremendous pass rush and pressure on the quarterback from that Los Angeles Lakers front.
Punt almost blocked, but Einhorn gets it away. This will be, in the grand scheme of things, decent starting field position for Los Angeles at their own 25. Most drives after punts today have started from inside the 10-yard line.
And that is Fort Worth's 3rd consecutive punt, and it would have been their 4th were it not for their last drive of the first half ending as time expired.
Now Los Angeles' job is just to run out the clock. They've got 10 minutes and 19 seconds of sand to drain through the hourglass, and the man to tip that hourglass over is Robert Johnson as he picks up 5 yards on 1st down.
And that is bad news if Rojo is still getting 5 yards a pop at this point in the game. You know he's going to get the volume. He's had 19 carries already. The fatigue algorithm is not going to kick in for this guy. You've got to corral him at the line of scrimmage to be in 2nd and 5 and then 3rd and short. You're not going to stop anybody that way.
Averaging almost 6 yards a carry this deep into the game. That time he goes backwards a couple yards. E.K. Vincent again leading the charge.
And Gary Marks getting in there too, Michael.
Yeah.
Getting in there, just clogging up things in the middle, and that's what they have to do. And that's usually what this defensive line is really good at doing. They've been a little slow on the trigger here in this matchup.
3rd down and 7. This would be huge for Fort Worth to get a 3 and out here. Richardson going long. It's tipped, it's batted around, and it's incomplete. As all that E.K. Vincent can do is pick the ball off the turf after Marquise Reed had a shot at it, but it is still a 3 and out, so teams strayed 3 and outs to start this 4th quarter.
A 3 and out, and it does not take a lot of time off the clock either. About a minute. And Fort Worth is going to get this ball with 9 minutes and change. And decent field position.
This might be the best starting field position for anybody in the game that is not off an interception. I mean, it's hard to beat the opponent 4-yard line where Fort Worth started when they scored their only 3 points so far after the Aiden Davis interception.
And at this point, I think you've got to start leaning away from Jason Williams, at least in the running attack. 19 carries. Time is a factor at this point. You got to deviate from your game plan And those stopped clocks you're going to get from incomplete passes and stepping out of bounds are going to be crucial on this drive and every drive going forward.
Looks like the offensive Fort Worth heard you. Hit as he throws is Cameron Curtis, and the pass skips off the hands of a defensive back, Ace Blackwell, the week 4 signing, got back there and hurried up Curtis.
Yeah, Blackwell, as we mentioned earlier, made the trip from couch to field ahead of schedule. Hadn't been on the server for much more than a couple of months. And Blackwell got the call when there was an opening. And he has fared fairly well, only 4 tackles. Comes up with a big pressure there.
2nd and 10. Curtis hasn't been sacked, but he has been under pressure a lot tonight. Same again there, but this time he gets it away, and Stephen Hacker picks up a first down and steps on the sideline with 8:55 to go in the game.
And Los Angeles still flying to the ball here. You mentioned the pressure there. And Hacker does make a catch, and then right there, he's seeing Thomasina Rahman flying at him in living color. Unfortunate to get out of bounds there.
That was a really awkward throw by Cameron Curtis. A little duck pass out there. Good job by Hacker to hold on. Curtis, this time with time, fires it out to the far sideline. Here's Jason Williams in the passing game, and he muscles his way forward for a first down inside the 40.
Yeah, tremendous effort by Williams. Got the first down, and then got out of bounds as well. And this is great running right here. Curtis selling it, and then only at the last seconds, they look over to the flat, and Williams is right there. And that little hesitation gives Williams the time to turn upfield and get toward the sticks. Tremendous effort. Thomas Robin Jr. finally takes him out of bounds, but not before he's able to move the chains.
And broke 2 tackles and stepped out of bounds. So strength and body control from Jason Williams on that last play. Short pass over the middle, way too far in front of Hacker, and incomplete 2nd and 10. And those short crossing routes have not really been Cameron Curtis's bread and butter tonight.
No, they haven't. You can tell that they're still part of the game plan, so we're still seeing them being executed here in the 4th quarter. But we've not seen a lot of success from them, from anybody, whether it's Hacker or Caker or anybody else.
2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Flipped out to Williams. A lot of work to do, and the work is only being done by the defense of Los Angeles. Buddy Blaze with a huge tackle for loss, his first of the game, and sets up a 3rd and 12.
And Buddy Blaze, who hit 400 tackles all time earlier in this game, coming up with a huge TFL there, putting Fort Worth in a 3rd and very long here. Tremendous opportunity for LA to get their defense off the field.
Time to pin your ears back, defense, and go to work. 3rd down and 12. Under 8 minutes to go. Curtis going to air it out, and it's picked off. And that one might just be the nail in the coffin. It's interception number 2 on the night for Rochelle Colston.
And Colston, who has just played a phenomenal game. We called her name so many times tonight. We just keep doing it. Playing deep half there. Reads the route perfectly. Steps right in front of Hacker. Elevates. Picks the ball off. Just absolutely tremendous. And it's too early to call that a dagger, Michael, but it's an incredibly steeper climb now for Fort Worth to get 3 scores with 7.5 to play.
I think Rochelle Colston is going to ask the league to have us cast every Los Angeles game from now on, because the last time you two and called a Los Angeles game, Colston got 3 interceptions against Atlanta last season, and she's got 2 tonight.
Well, she could file a petition, and we'll see what Cam has to say about that.
That's Mike Daggs' position. I don't think he'd go for that somehow.
Yeah, Daggs likes to mix it up a little bit. Likes to keep everybody fresh. As is his want. He's the man in charge.
2nd down and 5 for Los Angeles. Just trying to burn away the clock here. They are throwing to the flat, which is a little interesting. Davius Reed does haul that one in, but steps out of bounds. 3rd down and 1.
And Davius Reed, who we've seen turn those routes upfield, not able to do it there, but very close to the first down. Interesting situation. If Fort Worth can get a stop here, they'll force another 3 and out from Los Angeles.
Just shy of midfield. It's Johnston,
Oh!
and Robert Johnson goes backwards, and guess who? It's Delaney Nash. The safety's in the backfield again.
And Nash was right there. He knew what that play was going to be before they even ran it. And Nash got tremendous penetration. It forces another 3 and out for LA.
The Fort Worth defense doing all they can. But the offense just can't put it in the end zone tonight. And I think you got to credit the fantastic Los Angeles defense. From secondary to D-line, everybody's balled out tonight wearing black and red.
Yeah, they really have. They were flying to the ball. The Blood Moon uniforms coming to life here for this Lycans defense especially. And Fort Worth has had their work cut out for them. As you could clearly see, they've yet to find the end zone tonight.
Curtis gonna dial up a pass and just overshoot both of his receivers in the flat. He had two of them out there. Robert Garrett Jr. and Stephen Hacker.
And that's one of the rare times where Curtis has actually had some time to throw. And maybe got a little antsy, was expecting somebody in his face that wasn't there. He just put a little too much juice on that goose.
LA had 3 down linemen on first down. They are back to 7 in the box on second down. They show pressure, but again only rush 4, and a diving catch has to be made by Stephen Hacker as another wayward throw by Cameron Curtis goes over the middle. Hacker showing why he is an all-star caliber receiver, going down and picking that one off the turf.
Absolutely, but the clock continues to run with now less than 6 minutes remaining. And Fort Worth has got to get some ants in their pants and get the ball down the field.
5:45 at the snap, and it's a run up the middle to Jason Williams. Coverage of the Simulation Football League's 17th season on Next Level Sports continues 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday with the clash on I-35 between the Fort Worth Toros and the Lone Star Glory. Bonus coverage as the Arizona Scorpions traveling to visit the Pacific-leading Los Angeles Lycans, and if results hold as they are tonight, they will still be the Pacific-leading Los Angeles Lycans. It'll all come your way next Saturday on Next Level Sports. Curtis going for it and making a catch is Stephen Hacker. This time he gets the better of Thomasina Raman on the outside.
Yeah, rare miscue by Thomasina Raman there. You can see looking at the quarterback, and Hacker sneaks away over to the sideline. Thomasina probably playing a little bit of zone there. And Hacker had the presence of mind to get up into the seam, make the catch, and get out of bounds. Fresh set of downs for Fort Worth.
Vancouver currently beating San Diego 34-17. That game's in the second half, so the pressure is still on Los Angeles to continue to win, because you know Vancouver's not going to let them get too far away in this division.
No, and when you're just chasing a juggernaut like Vancouver, a team that just basically reloaded this past offseason, every big game matters and every effort matters. In Vancouver, they're going to watch tape of this game, and I think they're going to be a little surprised by how effective and how tenacious this defense has been.
Los Angeles fired an excellent shot last week, winning 47-24 against Vancouver. Robert Garrett Jr. makes that catch. They continue to drive down the field with under 5 minutes to go. Curtis moves in the pocket, steps up, and fires that one behind a receiver.
Interesting throw. Curtis throwing with his body moving to the right and his arm pushing the ball to the left. Usually that's a no-no. You do that at quarterback camp, any quarterback camp at high school or college, you're going to get yelled at by at least 2 or 3 coaches.
I'm sure Curtis is going to hear about that one from his offensive coaches on the sideline. Now it's 2nd and 10. He's got 4 receivers to aim at. It's going to be a quick throw, and it's going to be knocked away. Again, looking for that crossing route, and Mike Scott this time was Johnny on the spot to make the stop.
Mike Scott coming up big, forcing a 3rd and long here, and everybody on this Lycans defense has contributed. Very impressive to see.
On 3rd and 10. This is the area of the field where Los Angeles has been the most impressive defensively. Curtis goes long, and it's another interception, and that one might be the most impressive athletically. That one, Thomas Rahman Jr. takes it away.
Yeah, that was magnificent. Rahman Jr. just getting straight up in the air. Working on number 84. Is that our friend Mike Caker again? And the ball is slightly underthrown. Rahman just goes up and snags it. The 4th interception this evening for Cameron Curtis. It has been a tough outing for him.
So Thomas Rahman Jr. has his 2nd pick of the season. Michelle Colson is up to 6 interceptions. As up the middle goes Robert Johnson for about a gain of 8 yards. And they took advantage of the offsides call. It doesn't look like they will accept the penalty. So instead of 2nd and 2, it'll be 1st and 5.
And you get the extra down, you get to take a little more time off the clock there, Michael.
I think that's smart. Los Angeles just trying to get back to the locker room. They don't need to score any more points. But how fantastic would it be for this Lycans defense to come out and not give up any touchdowns? And the only field goal you gave up was off of an interception where they started inside the 5.
And if I'm not mistaken, this will be the 2nd game in 6 games where they were able to do that. Remember week 3, that ominous week 3 game against Sioux Falls, LA won that game 9-7, so giving up only 1 touchdown in what was also a low-scoring affair.
This game will also even the all-time series between these squads. Fort Worth has won their only previous meeting, 31-13. That was in the season 16 playoffs. So a bit of revenge for the Lycans tonight.
And revenge is a dish best served cold. Robert Johnson, anything but at this point, still running over defenders. And that has got to be a frustrating thing to see if you're Fort Worth. But if you're a Los Angeles fan, it's got to be a wonderful thing to see. Your halfback balling out all 4 quarters.
Under 4 minutes to go. And it's easy as you like for the Lycans offense. Another offsides jump to start this play. And Robert Johnson is just going to rumble, and run out the rest of this clock. And Fort Worth getting a little bit antsy as they're tired of looking at Robert Johnson's backside.
Well, they're doing everything they can to just keep up with the pace that this outstanding halfback has set for the game. I mean, he has just been, we're running out of superlatives, but he has just been absolutely masterful in the way that, in a lot of ways, that he has just taken over this game. I mean, obviously, that signature run where he ran over half the team, I mean, that's going to be on highlight reels, not only for the rest of this season, but all seasons to come.
23 carries make this 24, 121 yards on the game for the Los Angeles running back.
In Los Angeles, remember in week 1, gave up that 50-burger to Baltimore, who has looked outstanding this season also. But since then, this Lycans team has not looked back. And he plays
Baltimore 6-0.
And I have a suspicion that they're going to face Baltimore again at some point.
And that would be a fantastic matchup. But Baltimore continuing to run the league at 6-0 after picking up a victory this weekend. But Los Angeles is going to move to 5-1. They're right there. And next week they play Arizona. Arizona, a team that started red hot and has slid down the order a little bit, but never underestimate the Scorpions because that defense can always keep them in games.
Absolutely not. You never want to bet against Eddie Gage.
Johnson, nowhere to go, 4th down, and that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Los Angeles is going to have to punt it away, but Fort Worth going to need a miracle to come back in this one. We'll keep it right here until the end of the game. This is the Simulation Football League presented by ATM Music on Twitch. Fort Worth's got the Texas battle against Lone Star next week. Glory struggling at 2-4.
And if you're Fort Worth, there's got to be a lot of positive things that you take away from this game. I think the defense really came through in some clutch situations. I mean, obviously, Robert Johnston was just a total bulldozer tonight, but they did a nice job of corralling, for the most part, Sully Richardson and this passing attack. They made them more one-dimensional than they might have been otherwise. The only issue was that that one dimension was just so outstanding for Los Angeles tonight. And they're a team that has a lot to look forward to, I think, not only this season, but in seasons to come.
Cameron Curtis floats this one downfield into triple coverage and incomplete. Looking for Mike Caker again.
It's Caker's 5th target. And you look at Cameron Curtis's numbers, 22 of 42. Of those 42, Michael, about 12% of those going to Mike Caker.
And Mike Caker has more targets tonight than Cade Stevens and Robert Garrett Jr. and Lauren Prococa. So I think that tells you pretty much all you need to know about the offense of Fort Worth tonight. Stephen Hacker has been very impressive. 149 yards on that 9-yard reception.
And you look at the body of work from Fort Worth so far in the season, and they've been right there. They're just a score away from Queen City, who has obviously been outstanding this season as well. They're 5-0. One score against Arizona and a loss. One score against the Johnny UK Express. And then getting wins against Florida and Charleston, 2 very good teams. Like, this is a team that could turn it on, and obviously a team that's going to get better as the season progresses.
Williams picks up a short pass for a 1st down. You mentioned the Fort Worth Toros defense actually being pretty good tonight despite the lopsided scoreline. They hold people on average to 20 points per game, and guess what? Los Angeles has 20. It's just the Fort Worth Toros couldn't get anything done offensively, and that's a huge credit to the Lycans defense.
And we talked about the 3rd down conversion percentage earlier in the game. Los Angeles is only 3 of 12 on 3rd downs tonight. By and large, Fort Worth had kept them in check in that regard. It's just that the big plays got away from them.
Cameron Curtis has not had the best night. Intercepted 4 times, almost intercepted 5 times, as that was close to a hat trick for Rochelle Colston, batted into her hands by Mike Scott.
And this LA secondary has just not let up. They're not giving another inch to Cameron Curtis or this Fort Worth receiving core. Game's in hand. There's less than 2 minutes remaining. And the Lycans are still making Cameron Curtis work for every inch.
It's a matter of pride. They don't want to give up a touchdown.
No, absolutely.
Three-man rush. Curtis delivers it. First down into the hands of Stephen Hacker.
And after this game, things don't get too much better. You mentioned the Lone Star Glory game for Fort Worth next week. They get San Diego after that. And then the following week, they're at Houston. And then they host Mexico City. And then they go to Denver. And they will close out the season again with the Lone Star Glory game, this time in their building. And there is some hope on the horizon for Fort Worth, but they're going to need to win one of those 2 games. 1 or 2 of those games that they probably would not be expected to win.
Curtis middle, caught for a gain of 8. Yeah, there's a lot of winnable games in there for Fort Worth. But, you know, is 6-6 good enough to make the playoffs? We've seen it not be good enough for the past. Here's another pitch over the middle. There's Cade Stevens. Haven't seen him for a while. Curtis got drilled as he let the football go, but he gets quickly up to the line. Under a minute to go. Let's see if Fort Worth can put it in the end zone. Over the middle, incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Robert Garrett Jr.
And a lot of pride on this Fort Worth team as well. Certainly the offensive unit. They know they're good enough to find the end zone here, and they're going to try and do it. Make the score just a little bit closer, if nothing else.
And Rochelle Colston, you know she wants that third interception. 2nd and 10, under a minute to go. Curtis gonna air it out towards the end zone, and it's knocked away again. The corners for this Lycans team, and specifically Thomasina Rahman, who knocked that one down, have just put on a clinic tonight.
Yeah, they've been outstanding, just locked down. Obviously, Cade Stevens, who just has a single catch. Stephen Hacker, 13 catches, but he has had to work for all of them. And obviously, Garrett Jr. Percoco, not the difference makers that we would expect them to be in a given game.
3rd and 10, just outside the red zone of the 24. Cameron Curtis fires another pass over the middle that's deflected. And it's Rochelle Colston.
And Curtis looking for Cade Stevens again. Stevens was in the end zone, but well covered there, not only by Colston, but also by the safety up top. I'm not sure if that was Jack Haxall or Ryan Yosef. But there was not a large window to throw that football.
15 total passes defended in the ball game for the Los Angeles defense. 4th and 10. Can they get something here? Over the middle and way overthrows Stephen Hacker. There's Cameron Curtis. Los Angeles takes the ball over, and they can just kneel down and run the clock out.
And Hacker running that corner around, and that ball really not anywhere near as close as it needed to be. Behind Hacker and overthrew him.
Vancouver try to hang on against San Diego. They're up by 17 in the 4th quarter, so it looks like they'll win tonight. Los Angeles beats Fort Worth, so it's still a 2-horse race in the Pacific Division. Not quite in kneel-down range yet. Enough for another impressive run for Robert Johnson, who picks up 9.5.
And Fort Worth going to use the timeout here for some reason. But Johnson once again, and that has been the story of this game, Michael. Just Robert Johnson carrying a team on his back. Not his team in the literal sense, but the Fort Worth team in the literal sense. His team in the figurative sense. But literally draped on his back has been this Fort Worth Toros team.
A 1st down will do it. Handoff goes to the left-hand side, and it's 3rd and 1. The defense does do its job. Joey Schwint pushes back the running back.
And I think Nico Squirrel, the backup quarterback, is in for Sully Richardson. I know we're at that point of the game, and we certainly don't expect Squirrel to throw here. But it is interesting to see Nico making an appearance here.
And I believe this is Tommy Swagger, the backup running back, and you can see why he's on the bench most of the time as he goes backwards 3 yards. It'll be 4th and 4, so the Los Angeles does have to punt.
And Fort Worth's get another shot to get their first touchdown of the game, which would likely be their only touchdown of the game.
And you know that Los Angeles will probably have the backups in on defense. So maybe one chance for the Toros to get in the end zone tonight with under 30 seconds to go. And it's going to have to be something of the Hail Mary variety as they start from their own 35. Coverage of the Simulation Football League 17th season on For the Fans continues Sunday at 12:30 with the South Division tilt between Mexico City and Houston, followed by Pickler welcoming his old team, Louisiana, to his new home in London. Bonus coverage includes Florida, St. Louis, and Denver, Baltimore. It all comes your way next Sunday on For the Fans. That Denver-Baltimore game can be sneaky good.
Well, just watching Wigmore for Baltimore, he is just a pleasure to watch under center. I think he's as good as any quarterback in the league, certainly playing like it right now.
So, Los Angeles will get one chance to bomb it down the field with 8 seconds left and try and get in the end zone.
Just want to give one more shout out to Greg Soto, the Cuban Missile, and Stephen Hacker doing stats. Anytime you guys, especially this game where there have been a bounty of things to keep track of, we appreciate you guys, and thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Eight seconds to go. And not even going to be able to get the pass away is Cameron Curtis. That's the first sack and only sack of the ball game, and it will end the ball game. The Los Angeles Lycans pitch close enough to a shutout as you want on defense and defeat the Fort Worth Toros 20-3.
Well, Michael, you know the other teams in the SFL huddled around their screens, their computers, and their phones here on Monday night, and they just watched an outstanding performance by this Los Angeles Lycans defense, shutting down a very good Fort Worth Toros team. Cameron Curtis only 29 of 55 through 4 interceptions. Richardson, on the other hand, had 1 touchdown pass to that man, Davius Reed, who was outstanding in his efforts. 8 catches, over 100 yards for him. But that gal right there, Rochelle Colston, part of the Los Angeles secondary that set the world on fire. And the other teams, the other powers in this league, the Baltimores, the Queen Cities, the Floridas, they're going to be watching this LA team and thinking, look out, these guys are going to come to play.
Los Angeles continues to hold serve in the Pacific Division. They'll maintain a 1-game lead over Vancouver, with Vancouver also winning tonight over San Diego. Your player of the game from Full Moon Coliseum is Robert Johnson, 131 yards and a lung-busting 47-yard touchdown run where he broke 5 tackles along the way. That really was the moment that you thought the game was out of hand for Fort Worth. A massive thank you to Greg Soto and Stephen Hacker for keeping track of stats, to Cameron Irvine for doing the hosting duties as always. That concludes Week 6 of the Simulation Football League 17th season. It's a victory on Blood Moon Night for Los Angeles. We'll see you next week.